And we are back for part 2 of our third cooking day of Christmas, where we're doing a turkey, a healthy, succulent, delicious turkey. And it hasn't been long since I last came live to you. In fact, I think it's been about an hour and 20 minutes, and that included me kind of mucking around a little bit and, you know, fixing my lipstick before I came on. But that's how long it's taken us to cook our turkey. Now remember, our turkey started off raw. It was about 3.5 kilos, so it's like a really big chicken. And that's kind of how you got to look at it, because I know for a lot of people they find turkey, the idea of cooking turkey, really daunting. But if you think of it just like it's very similar type of meat, because very lean like a chicken is. So you want to get the cooking just right. And I'm hoping that what we have done today in our little oven, and I'm literally standing above the turkey now, you can kind of just see it there. I'm getting a turkey steam bath. What happened is we started off with that dry brining, and like I said, I'm hoping we've got this most succulent turkey. I think we have. It took, to cook my 3.5 kilo, which is just under 7 pounds worth of turkey, it took 1 hour and 15 minutes. How quick is that? Because I know some people think, oh, turkey, it takes hours and hours and hours, and I'm going to put it on first thing in the morning. It takes ages to cook. Forget all that stuff. Forget all that sort of takes too long. An hour and 15 minutes, I cooked this. Are you ready? Are you ready? All right, come on down and look at my turkey. Yahoo! Check it out. So remember how we put the tin in there, which is going to help the hot air to get in there. And yes, tin facing out, so it was like that in the cavity. We got all those wonderful flavors in the cavity. I didn't add anything to the skin. I didn't put any oil or butter on it. The only thing I added was the flavors inside of it. So we did garlic, we did ginger, we did lemon, and we did bay leaves, all stuffed inside, actually behind that tin. And then of course our tin is there to help it to cook faster, because now we have heat from the inside out and heat from the outside in. So we've doubled up on the heat sources, which means we've got a fast cooking turkey, 1 hour and 15 minutes. Now, how do you tell if your turkey is cooked? Which is the next thing. Firstly, you're looking for this lovely golden, even color. What I did do as the turkey was cooking is I did turn it a couple of times in the oven. So I just literally turned the whole roasting tray so that it was cooking nice and evenly. That's the only thing I did. I didn't baste it at all, because we've got the moisture from the liquid that we put underneath the roasting tray. So we put about that much water in the roasting tray, which helped to keep the turkey moist as it was cooking as well, because it kind of got a bit of a steam bath, which is quite fantastic. So we have, what I'm hoping is a succulent turkey. How do you know whether it's cooked? There's a couple ways that you can do it. The best way, and this is something that you might want to invest in or get someone to invest in for you, is to get yourself a thermometer, a metal food thermometer. The reason why we want a metal one is because you can clean that by sanitizing it, putting it in hot soapy water, and then making sure it's really clean, cleaning it with a clean towel. So every time you poke that into the food, you know that you are getting a very clean thing going in. And that's why in chefs' kitchens and stuff, we only ever use metal thermometers. So the way that you can do this, and you can purchase one of these for a couple of bucks from you know, a chef store, like I think it's like King of Knives, those sort of places. You can buy one. They're not very expensive, or you can go and buy one online. Just make sure if you're buying it online that it reads Celsius as well as Fahrenheit, because a lot of these are just Fahrenheit. So just make sure that you can get both readings. Obviously put it onto Celsius if you're in the southern hemisphere, because that's how we do it down here. If you're in America, put it onto Fahrenheit. But the temperature that you're looking for in your turkey to tell whether it's perfectly cooked, and the best way to do that with your metal thermometer there, digital thermometer, is to go in right in between the drum and the cavity. So just in there, let me just turn it around so you can see. So when I'm testing in the oven, I will put, well, I better put it onto Celsius, it's gone onto Fahrenheit. I will put the, what's it reading now? It's currently 29 degrees in my kitchen. Not too bad, pretty nice. Right, I will put the metal thermometer between the drum and the cavity, and I'll get it in there as far as I can, getting as much of that metal part into the meat. It's going to give me a more accurate reading. And then the temperature that I'm looking for on here, so I know that it is perfectly cooked, is I'm looking for a temperature between 68 to 72 degrees Celsius. So that is not a lot of heat when you think about it. And in fact, I've got the degrees here. So here we go. Looking for a reading of between, so about 66 to 68, which is 150 degrees Fahrenheit. and you want it to get a maximum reading of about no more than 74 degrees Celsius, which is about 165, no more than that. That is when your turkey is in the perfect range for being cooked. My one's reading 72, so that is absolutely perfect. This is cooked. This took an hour and a quarter. How amazing is that? So that's one way that you can test. If you don't have a metal thermometer, and like I said, I suggest you do go out and buy one because they're just so handy. If you're roasting a chicken, you do exactly the same thing, and what you're looking for on a chicken is the same reading. Between about 68 to 72 degrees is perfect for the chicken, and you're only going to get that perfect reading when you actually stick it into the meat, so you know what's going on. So that's the best way to do it. I totally 100% suggest you get one of these. Perfect stocking stuffers. I would love to get one of these. And also, the other thing that I really like when it comes to these type of things in the kitchen is just having, I never have too many little alarm clocks. So when I've got food set, you know, I've got one on my phone, I've got one on my smart display behind me, I've got one on the stovetop, and I even have one that I sit, it's got a magnet, and it actually sits on the extractor hood that I use. So I normally have 4 little alarm clocks, so I never burn anything, which is great. But this is fantastic too. So that's one way. The other way that you can tell, and this requires a little bit of sort of taking the bird apart. So I don't suggest this first off, but you can actually make an incision with your knife there in between the drum and the breast meat in the cavity, and just pull it apart and see what color you get down there. If you're deciding whether you wanted to serve this whole on the table, to be carved at the table, it's probably not the most ideal way because you will ruin the beautiful skin. So but if you're carving it up before you serve it, no problem at all. Just make your incision in there. I'll just turn it around so you can see. In there, make it in there with your knife, and then pull the drum away from the body and see what the color of the meat is down there. Obviously you don't want any red or any pink. Now there is one other method, and once again it's a great method to check, but it does require maybe a little bit more confidence. Because what you're going to do is you're actually going to remove the tin, and it should come out, slide up pretty easily, which it does. Lovely. And you can reuse that tin. That's my BPA-free tin. You can totally reuse it. And then you're going to take a metal fork like this and stick it into, oh my gosh, you know what I'm getting now? Garlic, bay leaves, lemons, and ginger coming from there. It's amazing. So you want to put this as firmly into the cavity as possible, and then literally just tip it upside down, like get a really good hold on it and tip it upside down. And when you tip it upside down, just what, oh, there you go, there's garlic, oh, that's the ginger and bay leaves, how wonderful is that? When you tip it upside down, just watch the juices that come out of it, and you want to make sure that the juices that are coming out of it are running clear. So those are the 3 best ways. I 100% suggest this. You cannot go wrong with this. It is also the safest way to check whether your turkey is done or your chicken is done. It's also the most accurate way to do it, and it doesn't ruin this beautiful skin if you are serving it whole. Now the next thing that you need to do once you've checked it and you're happy with that temperature range, remember it's from about 66 minimum to about 74 maximum in that degree range. Anything more and your your flesh is going to dry out. Anything less than those temperature ranges and you are going to have pink undercooked meat. So once you have had it at that and you're happy with it, and yes, it's smelling wonderful and the skin is lovely and crunchy and golden, the next thing you want to do is the hardest part, is you need to allow it to rest. Now resting is really, really important, because what is happening when meat is resting is when meat cooks, all the juices flood up to the surface. They come to the surface, and because they're kind of freaked out by the heat, and they sit on the surface there. What we're doing when we're resting meat is you're allowing those juices time to relax, and the fibers relax, and they start to go back through the fibers of the meat, so you get more of a succulent bite. So yes, it is vital that you rest your turkey before you slice it, before you serve it. Ideally, you want to rest it for about half an hour before you serve it, but you can actually rest it, because it's only been in there for an hour and a quarter. I would suggest that you actually rest it for the entire time that you cooked it for. So if you cooked it for an hour and a half, rest it for an hour and a half. Just cover it over, leave it off to the side. It's going to be completely fine because it's completely cooked through, and just leave it off there. And the longer you can allow it to rest, the more succulent the meat's going to be. And succulent is such an important word when we're talking about poultry. It is such an important, we do not want a dry bit of turkey. So that's how you test it. Definitely try to rest it for a minimum of half an hour before you carve it up. Most definitely. It is a wonderful meat to eat, obviously. It is really good as leftovers too. So even if you get a really big one, and if you do get one that's bigger than mine, and you're wondering how long do you cook it, and you don't have one of these, because this is the best way to tell. You know, every now and then you go in and you test to see what the temperature is sitting at, and as soon as it gets between that range, 66 to 74, you know it's perfect, and you bring it out. If you don't have one of these, then how timing wise to know when your turkey is ready is you need to allow, if this turkey, which was 3.5 kilos, took 1.25 hours, for every additional kilo of a turkey you buy, you need to add an additional 20 to 25 minutes. So if your turkey is 4.5 kilos or size 45, then you'll be cooking it for around about 1 hour and 3/4. Does that make sense? If your turkey was 5 kilos, you would add in another 10 minutes, so it'll be probably around about 2 hour mark. So always add a bit more time. Start off with knowing that a 3.5 kilo turkey, which is size 35, takes about 1 hour and 1/4, but only because we stuck the tin in there. If there's no tin, it's going to take way longer to cook. The chances of it drying out also increases exponentially. So there you go. This is how it comes on. I'm going to get in the shot with the turkey because we've got to be together. I'll just lean on it. How about that? Yeah, that works. I'll lean on it. So there you go. That is how you cook the perfect, easy, healthy alternative to, say, glazed ham or something like that. If you want to have something really majestic and you want to do that whole, look what I'm offering you, and you put it down on the table and someone gets out the carving knife, and it's quite the experience, I have to say, and it's quite enjoyable, but it smells amazing, and turkey is delicious. It's got a little bit more flavor than chicken, that's why I love it. So there's your turkey. Tomorrow, which is day 4 of my 12 cooking days of Christmas, we are gonna make, and I'm very excited about this, we're gonna make a gluten-free, sugar-free sponge cake. It is part 1 of my ultimate trifle recipe. You've got to be here tomorrow. We're doing an evening class, Sydney evening class, around about 6 p.m. tomorrow. We're going to be doing a sponge cake. And I'm going to teach you guys how to make the perfect gluten-free, sugar-free sponge cake. And then we can use it in so many wonderful ways. If you are a Christmas, Kiwi Christmas baby like me, or even anywhere within the UK and Australia, you know that trifle is like, Christmas does not start until the trifle goes on the table. That's all there is about it. So I'm going to teach you guys how to make a sponge cake tomorrow, which I'm very excited about, and that is going to flow into our next day where we're going to be doing trifle. We're going to be doing the full set trifle, and I cannot wait to share that with you guys. But as well as our sponge cooking class tomorrow night, I'm also going to be doing with you guys, and during the day, I'm going to be sharing with you my top healthy foodie Christmas gifts for 2019. So these are the gifts that I would love to get as a healthy foodie, but also if you're thinking last minute, what am I going to give that person that I love healthy foodie wise, tomorrow at lunchtime I'm going to be running through my top ideas for healthy foodie gifts for 2019, just in case you still haven't decided what to get that special person and you want to get them something healthy and foodie orientated. I'm going to give you my top list of what I would love to give and what I would love to receive as well. So that's tomorrow, but don't forget guys, sponge cake at 6 o'clock. It is day number 4. I can't believe it's already going so fast. Oh, it's going so fast. But anyway, remember, let this rest. I can't eat lunch yet. I need to let the turkey rest. I hope you enjoyed today's episodes of Bridget's 12 cooking days for Christmas, and I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow for 2 lives. Alright guys, take care. Have a good day. Bye.